Have you ever heard of Bruno Ashmanskis? The most skilled cat burglar I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Bruno mostly did jobs on commission, but he always wanted to do something for himself, something special. So he got it into his head that he was going to break into the Fitzwilliam Museum in Cambridge to steal an imperial vase from the Qing dynasty worth millions, the single biggest trophy of his career.
What happened?
I never heard from him again. I'd always assumed he'd succeeded, that he was sipping some umbrella-clad cocktail on a beach in Tahiti, until 5 years later, during a remodel of the Fitzwilliam, they removed a wall. There was poor Bruno. What was left of him anyway, stuck inside a heating duct, still clutching that vase. I prefer to think of old Bruno on that beach in Tahiti.
We have a problem.
What?
Our asset is tracking the extent of the breach. It appears Braxton's team has penetrated your country's network.
Do we have confirmation on what it is they're looking for?
Yes, we do. The fulcrum.
So Reddington does not have it.
I never believed he did, actually. And his efforts to stop Braxton only confirm my suspicions.
What's our collateral exposure?
Honestly, none. We are mirroring Braxton's search algorithms, and if the fulcrum comes into play, we will find it.
So Mr. Braxton is a liability.
Oh, yes. And Mr. Reddington may no longer be a threat. We haven't touched him for fear that he'd use the fulcrum as, well, to expose us, but he's bluffing.
You can't be sure of that. Alan Fitch did not think so.
Whether he is or not, it's a moot point. He needs to be eliminated.
This prison of yours, the factory. I understand the American public is unaware of its existence. Perhaps they would not notice if it were to disappear.
How much longer?
We've had a setback. Gernot is working on alternatives.
I'm telling you, there are no other options. This model has redundant computerized safeguards. If I attempt to overpressurize the boiler tank, those safeguards kick in automatically.
There's nothing you can do to override it.
It would have to be done manually. That means someone standing here, resetting those pressure relief valves every 90 seconds, while someone else mans the temperature controls until this pressure cooker hits 700 psi. And that is not going to be me.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Because whoever stays here to do this manually is going to be blown into a million pieces.
Or just one.
Wait. You shoot him, they'll hear. They'll be here within 60 seconds, and then what? We can do this. You and I. After the pressure reaches 700, how long do we have until it explodes?
Anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds, but there's no way to know for sure.